How do you have the confidence to ask me that question? How did I come up with my stage name? Okay, here's the story of where I got my stage name. Raja Kumari means the daughter of the king, and when I was in high school, I would be in ciphers and I'd be rapping and they would call me Indian princess. So naturally, because of my obsession with Sanskrit, it became Raja Kumari, and I want every man to call me king. So that's why I made it 2 words. And yeah, Sweta Rao, my original name is, she's a classical dancer, and now she's definitely evolved into a CEO of her own major label company now. I want to call it a major. But yeah, that's how I got my name. Collab I'm yet to do is gonna be, I was just talking about this earlier and I'm gonna manifest it. Me and Nicki Minaj. I wanna bring Nicki to India and get her some like 80-inch Indian hair. I promise, I'll give it to you, Nicki. Come to India. It was made with just my core team. There was just like 4 of us making the album. And I think with this project, I took a lot more risks and I kind of didn't talk about identity so much. I made things that were really important to me. And during that time, we didn't know if we were gonna have festivals again or shows. And you know, I really was wondering, without all of the costume and the grandeur, like, who am I? And I think that song came out of that search, and the search was that, you know, no matter what is going on outside the world, I'm destined to make music, to make art, and no matter what, that I was gonna succeed. So to stay focused. So it was a song I wrote to myself in a very dark time. I mean, the food, obviously. You guys don't realize you could like push a button and you can get a dosa on demand. I have to go to my mom or get dosa pindi, the batter, and do it at home. Pani puri is pretty much the thing I think about the most. When is that? I don't know. What do I do when I'm not working? I think to decompress, the other side of me is a nerd, and I watch like very obscure documentaries on pre-Diluvian history, you know, like ancient Sumerian mythology, and I like listen to some professor guy talk for 3 hours. I don't know. It relaxes me. It's very strange. I mean, on the way here, we were listening to A.R. Rahman, so like, that's for the shower, but getting ready, I mean, I'm very much like, I get affected by like trending songs, like they'll get in my head. So right now it's just Obsessed, Riyar Saab. I'm in it. I'm in that song. And I have like Vicky in the back of my mind, you know, killing it. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was very early in my career as a songwriter. I think it was like 1 year in or something. And it's actually on the first song I ever got like published. So that was a crazy experience. I was in the gym. I was trying to do some cardio and the announcements were going on and it was on Twitter. And so I was like watching it in the morning. I wasn't thinking much of it. And then my phone just started blowing up. It was like, zzz, 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 zzz. So they had announced, you know, the nomination, you know, when Iggy was nominated for Best Rap Album. And then I called my mom. I just jumped off the elliptical machine, ran outside, and I was like, Mom, just screaming. And she was like, what is that? I'm just kidding. No, it was crazy. I mean, for me, it was so early in my songwriting career that it was the validation I needed from my parents to continue letting me be a songwriter, because it was like a 1-year deal, you know, so. Ali Sethi, his voice. So I was so lucky. I was so lucky because I had in-ear monitors during Coachella. So when he was singing his like, he was doing like, it's like alap, they call it in Carnatic music, but I think it's called something else in Hindustani classical. But he was just like singing the rag and it was like in my ear. So I was like, y'all don't realize how beautiful he sounds. So I just really love his voice. I love his new song. And yeah, I love everything Ali does. I mean, I've been so lucky to do so many of the stages in the world. I got to do, you know, Wembley with A.R. Rahman and like MetLife, which are huge like Western places. I've been able to do everything here. But I would say there's something called the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, which is a huge venue in Southern California that I used to actually attend. I remember going to Justin Timberlake concert there and like an NSYNC concert, and it would just really be a crazy experience to fill the Rose Bowl. That would be crazy. I don't know if I had a choice. I think the profession chose me. I started art at a very young age. I think my parents really wanted me to be in classical dance and music, so I really was exposed to it so early. And then I think music was my rebellion. That was the way that I could find my own voice in all of it. So there was nothing, like no real decision. I feel like I just followed that energy, and I knew that I really, really love music. And I had this like vision of the future, I call it memory of the future, where I saw myself on stage in front of like 100,000 people, and I felt like the physical energy of it. And I snapped out of that moment as a child and thought, like, how do I get there? So I've just been on that mission. There's so many of them. I am worthy. I think that one is really important. I think, like, especially in Indian culture, we like have so many log kya kahenge, like all these things that are going on, or like when you actually get a win, there's like a choir of people who tell you you don't deserve it, So I feel like I am worthy of love. I am worthy of my life, and I am worthy of my talent, and I'm worthy. I got you. One of the things I hate being asked, I think it's so crazy when people say, how do you have the confidence to do what you do? I'm like, what a backhanded thing to say to someone. What do you mean, how do I have the confidence? Look at me. How do you have the confidence to ask me that question? So that's probably my most hated question. I mean, I feel like I've always been singing on all the records. But now I really want to focus on musicality. As a songwriter, I got to work with so many incredible producers who taught me a lot of things, and I feel like when the public has one idea of you, they want to keep you in one box. And I did that, I provided that for as long as it felt authentic to me, and now I want to dive deeper. I want to use my time on stage to, explore deeper human emotions and bring different things to stage, more theatrical elements, more, kind of like how classical dance is. Like when I would get on stage, I would create a whole world with just myself in one costume. So I like to try to apply that to my stage show.